Friendship was not linked with any material or professional or business gain. I just liked those people and I became friends with them. And I continued my kind of friendship with them over the years. Because then suddenly, out of the blue, some opportunity comes and you say, hey, so and so, and then they come back to you and they say, hey, why not? So, sure. So what I'm really saying is that in life, as you go along, as young entrepreneurs, I think this kind of habit you almost like build. You be friends with them. You are LinkedIn, of course, now is a great opportunity for professional friends. Facebook for more social you cultivate. That includes your employees as well, because you never know. In some other organization, they would come back to you, and it did happen to me. A lot of my old people came back to me when I had my startup at some stage, which we'll talk about. But one of the persons I met in Motorola, and he's a wonderful American. His name is Raymond Vickery. Those who watch debates every night. Ray comes as an expert advisor on foreign affairs from US. Raymond Vickery was Clinton administration's Assistant Secretary of State, which is commerce basically, in charge of Asia Pac, China, India, and Japan. And he used to visit us because Motorola and TI were the only two companies at that time in Bangalore. And when he saw the kind of software we do in terms of quality and the kind of high-end work that we're doing a lot of work in mobile phones, base stations and everything. But as you know, there were no mobile phones that time in the country. So our people had a lot of difficulty, particularly when doing work on the user interface of a mobile phone. we had to close down that unit because our people were not just able to visualize how to do that, because they just didn't have any phone with them. So that kind of high-end work, we did satellite phone prospect. So Ray said, this is gold mine. This is, India is a gold mine for US companies in many respects. You can do high quality work, you can do highly professional work, you can do that all offshore, so there's a substantial cost arbitrage, and there's a great attitude of people, age-wise and everything else. So he really pushed, and almost like a floodgate opened of a lot of American companies in 95 onwards, at least in the 3 years that Ray was in charge of Secretary of Commerce, came to initially Bangalore and then all over India. So I felt that that was one game changer of having an SCI level 5 unit, which converted itself. And then we also had link up with IIT, that is the Illinois Institute of Technology, for having a remote MTech for our engineers, because we realized that that was a necessary thing for even attrition perspective, because people wanted to go for MTechs. So if they could do MTech while being in the company itself, why not? So we gave them special concession to do that.
So you created the first SEI CMM level 5 company. You got the President's Excellence Award as well, Quality Award that is called. That Motorola's India Development Center is now taken over by Google. So after that, you moved back to Pune. You joined Cirrus Logic as the managing director. And it might be because you liked Pune more than Bangalore, or a lot of your connections wanted you to do something in Pune. What happened after that?
Yeah, Motorola was going very well, and they had a lot of plans for me. But of course, I had to make a choice because my family was still in Pune. I was doing a practice here. Our daughter by then had become an orthodontist. She was practicing here, so I had to say, where do I want? Family is the choice, and so I came back to Pune. Fortunately, again, some of these old friends like Suhas Patil. He's in fact the founding chairman of TAI. And Karmal Rekhi and Vinod Khosla, they were all part of that. So Suhas Patil from San Jose was the chairman of Cirrus Logic. So he said, Anand, I would like you to head Cirrus Logic. If you're going to Pune, you head it in Pune. If you're in Bangalore, we'll have it in Bangalore. So we had it in Pune, and right next door, Mutha Chambers, the first unit, we had it in 1996. And that's the time when Cirrus Logic is a chip maker, graphics particularly, and many others, but more so graphics. And what we decided to do here was something little different in the sense, usually people design a chip, throw it over the fence and let the software guys develop software on it. A few months later, they throw it back into the over the fence to the side of the chip, saying that software cannot be done on this chip because it doesn't have this. So what happens? You start doing a new chip all over again. We had that experience in Motorola because Motorola, as you know, was a big semiconductor company as well. So what we realized that doing this serially makes a huge loss to everyone. So why not we do it parallelly? Parallel in the sense that do the software development in parallel to the chip development. So therefore here, and since we had Maritime really mastered the art of doing offshore process, we said we can manage it. And therefore we decided that Cirrus Logic will design chips and the soft copy of that will come to Pune. And we will write our software, which is very high-end. Again, video was MPEG 2 that time, MPEG 4 wasn't there, but 3D graphics, many audio and speech things, all will do it here in parallel, and therefore compress the time. But what we really needed that time was an outstanding configuration management process, because you can see you've got variants of chip design going on, you've got variants of software going on, and you know it can be a complete chaos if you do not manage your configuration management. And thanks to the process, we were able to do that very effectively. So a lot of people here who are now probably in NVIDIA who did this job. So it was a pioneer in that sense in Pune or in India itself to do this kind of parallel development of chip and software and optimize the time in terms of chip development.
So again, there's another pioneering work in multimedia that is embedded on a software program called DSP and parallel processing chips, and it will keep coming up, keep waiting. And I see a common thread here, Anand, that you were somehow at the inflection points of these game-changing moments in the country, wherein and probably you created them, you grabbed the opportunities. This 100% EOU, the first SEI CMM level 5, this work on multimedia embedded software on parallel processing chips, and obviously the PACE soft, which has to still come, and I'll tell you more about that. Even that was a pioneering work. So what is your take on it? Was it you being the right person at the right time, or you actually got hold of a few things that could change dimensions of how software was done in 90s?
To be honest, I don't know. Yeah, one thing is certain, that I do not do others' jobs. I think that's probably one of the main reasons I had enough time to myself. In fact, I was, to be honest, quite surprised myself that, you know, when we sat together and did all this, that I was amazed that a lot of things were able to be done. And that's mainly because I think I left all my people themselves. We just created an ecosystem in the organization which nurtured these people and allowed them to blossom completely on their own. At least 90%. It's empowerment, but not abdication, because you had to make sure that you take the can if something else goes wrong. So we had a very systematic monthly review processes, and I used to spend at least 3 to 4 days reviewing all the projects which were going on in the organization, very detailed review. So I had a complete control on what the projects were and how they were being done. And the fact that all the project managers were sitting together, they had no permission to move out of station, they all had to be present. So there were a lot of cross-fertilization, if I may use the word. We did a lot of reuse work. In fact, one of the criteria for extra points in the bonus or promotion was how much of reuse software a manager has done for his other colleagues. So that really helped a lot in terms of reducing time for doing things. So that's, I think, probably one of the reasons.
One of the interesting things is that late 90s, Pune was not known for high-end technology and offshoring work. And while you were at Cirrus Logic, you were also working with government bodies and local bodies to get Pune somehow on the map, so that and you said a lot of the companies were coming to Pune at that time. And it was more like marketing a city than marketing your own company, which is obviously much more difficult. What was that? What were you involved in?
Right. Yeah. I came back. It was my. I'm very proud of this city. I was born, brought up here, studied here. Of course, then I went back. For 30 years I was out. But then when I came back in '96, I said, I saw a huge difference in Bangalore and Pune in terms of revenue, software, the type of companies and number of companies. We were only $30 million in Pune that time, 1996. So we decided to do something, and MCCI came to the fore, and I'm so happy that many senior people from MCCI who were my colleagues for that committee, IT committee, which we started. It was there was no separate IT committee. There was only an electronics committee, and software or IT was kind of part of that. So we separated that, and then we decided to just make a strategic plan to grow this city into a formidable software hub that it is now. And for that, again, I must admit, I fell back on my Motorola days. As part of Motorola, I was involved in a very wonderful exercise. I was part of the committee, corporate committee, where before going to a new country, Motorola would send this committee and do an anthropological study of that country to find out what are the history, the culture, the riti rivas and everything else about that country. What is the impact of that on the attributes of people? You know, the natural attributes are acquired through all this impact of the history and culture and everything else. And then we had some standard attributes. We used to find how many of those attributes are naturally available, how many can be done with training, and brought it up, and then decide finally whether to go or not go. It was a very interesting anthropological exercise. So when I came to Pune, I said, let's do this for the city of Pune, rather than country. And then I found that Pune, thanks to our 800 years of history, we had 4 wonderful attributes. And all of you who are sitting here, whether you are from Pune or now becoming a part of Pune, have that in you. And that's, one is the entrepreneurship and leadership, thanks to Shivaji Maharaj, who took on the entire might of the Mughal Empire with a few hundred soldiers who were really farmers and peasants in the hills around Pune. Then we had Shivaji Maharaj, and then we had Thorle Bajirao, who gave the corporate governance perspective by sending out Scindias and Holkars and Gaikwads all across India, made them stay there. It was like corporate governance, corporate distributed governance. So this city has an extraordinary, and then of course that's why the city ruled India for more than 100 years. And can't forget that. It's in us. We are great entrepreneurs and we are great leaders. So that's a given. Second thing, it is they call Vidya ka Maika, Vidya to Mahagar as we call it. So Vidya was here 250 years. Third is art and culture. This is a very well known thing. The cultural center of Maharashtra. And then social reformers, so it's a very socially tolerant city. Maharishi Karve and Jyotiba Phule, Agarkar, many people. And therefore, you have one of the largest number of NGOs also in Pune, because people of Pune, young and old, are extremely socially conscious. So these 4 attributes. So we decided to make some equations. So we took the first 2. Entrepreneurship plus knowledge is equal to IT. And we said it has to work in this.